NS-10s, rolled around speakers because they're garbage. They have no low end and they have no high end, but they have a lot of mid-range. This is what the frequency response looks like. Yeah. Anyway, I believe lord-alge was asked about how he gets his low end sounding good, and he said, I don't really care too much about the low end. It kind of takes care of itself. I just focus on the mid-range. Now, I think that's kind of an interesting idea. I don't have NS-10s, but I do have an EQ that I can throw on the master. So today we're just going to throw an EQ on the master that looks like an NS-10, and we're going to see if I can mix better. Looks like we got a boost at just under 2K, and then the rest kind of fades off. All right, this is my EQ curve. It's not exactly like an NS-10, but it's close enough. So let's make a rock beat. Today I'm just going to do a pre-chorus and a chorus. I don't really care to make the rest of the beat. But there is going to be some interesting tips in here with drums and another little challenge I like to do to work on my mixes. So as always, I'm going to a Strat with a humbucker. Same old, same old. Let's just go for 160 BPM. We'll see what happens. Okay, we got the two main parts. Now I just got to record some like lead octaves over it. Now the secret here is that I'm slightly out of tune. It's not a secret; it's actually a mistake. But I think it'll be fine. All right, now we've got all the chorus parts for the guitar. It's just time to do the bass and the drums. Let's go to amplitude and let's go to the SVX. Amp. Let's scroll all the way down to the SVX. We're gonna want some overdrive for that. Let's go to a tube screamer. Cool. And we'll just play. All right, we got the bass. So let's keep in mind that there's no low end on my master right now, so I have to navigate that. I just want a little less tone. I can throw the ultra low button on. Makes me hear it less because it's lower and we don't have any low frequencies. So, I mean, I kind of like it. I'm going to cut out 80 Hertz just... Okay, now before we touch the guitars, let's do drums. I think we'll make our own drums instead of using the presets just for fun. So let's just throw some general compression on. Not bad. I turned down as well the, where was it, the ambience rhythm. I don't want that. I want it tight. You know, I never use a distressor. I was thinking today on the ride here that I should probably start using this distressor because distressors are great compressors. So let's throw that on. Quick attack, quick release, maybe a little faster or a little slower, something like that. And then let's mix. Output up. I like that. I might just take this compressor off now. Lastly, let's throw some room reverb on there. I've been using Verb Suite Classics, something I don't normally use, actually ever, but I do like this room right here. Let's take a bit of the high end out. Yeah, I like that. Let's drum along, and then we'll do some processing after. You can really hear that hi-hat with the EQ on that master. Oy. Normally I actually hate miking the hi-hat because I always find myself taking it out, especially when there's open hats. Like that is a lot. Let's take it out. And we can swap the hi-hat, see what we like better. Much nicer. Let's get that snare. Let's change that snare. Cool. There's a little bit of a MIDI error in here. I don't know where it is, but and then I want some color. So let's throw the. I just got all these SL plugins the other day. They're actually great. Really made the Slate stuff worth it. I wasn't using Slate's all access stuff like as much as I needed to in order to feel like it was a useful purchase, but I got all the SSL stuff and now it's very worth it. So we're gonna go to other, and I'm gonna throw Vintage Drive on there. It's a great plugin. All right. Anyway, let's stop mixing in solo, and let's hear how it sounds in context. I do actually like it. Just off the bat, I'm gonna group all the electric guitars, and I'm just gonna make a little e-guitar sub. And I'm gonna throw the good old SSL 4KB channel strip on there. All right, so first thing I notice, a lot of low end muddiness. Actually not too much, but there certainly is some there. It's that is what I want to cut out. Cool. I'm going to boost a bit of the highs. Like that, and the high mids as well. Cool, let's give it some drive. Let's just quickly level stuff here. All right, some compression will do nicely. Good old play C. And I'm actually going to turn that drive down a little bit because I can start to hear it. Cool, let's do a rather slow attack and a slow release. Just to glue stuff together. Cool, with the bass. Does sound good, I just want to widen it a little bit. Just slightly. And some saturation on the guitars, I believe. Very nicely. Smooths it out a little bit. Cool. Okay, let's get these drums in here. All right, here are a little bit of things I want to change. I'm going to throw the API stuff on there. I'm going to navigate to the frequency that has the most sharpness with that hi-hat, which I believe is 8K. See how a lot of the hi-hat's gone? So let's turn that down a little bit. I'm just turning it down by about 2 dB. Boosting about 2 dB at 15K. All right, now let's listen to how these guitars are interacting with each other here. I think there's a little bit of EQing we can do. Just the crunchiness, just a little bit there. You know what? Let's change the patch a little bit on this one. Sure. All right, now for time for the big reveal. I'm gonna take the EQ off, see how it sounds. Ah, interesting. Huh. Interesting. Okay, so because I couldn't hear the bass, I didn't really know how much to add. I'm actually going to add a bit of our bass on there, just because I want a little more bass. But otherwise, the mids are sounding really nice. Yeah, awesome. All right, let's mix in mono really quickly just to finish it off. Throw mono on. What do we hear a lot of? Honestly, nothing. Kind of nailed the leveling in the mixing. I actually don't find anything I don't like. Cool. There you go. It works. You heard it here first. Throw this EQ curve on your master, make an entire thing, and then take it off and see how you've dealt with your mids. I'd even go more extreme. What if we did this? Whoa, that's pretty wild. Try that. Actually, it's kind of more how NS-10s sound. Honestly, they sound more like this. So that's the curve I would suggest. Even more dramatic, a plus 6 dB boost. Let's see what we're looking at over here. From 85, 82-ish to 92-ish. So that's almost like a 10 dB increase there. So if anything, I could even go more drastic with this EQ. Anyway, I think you should try this. I'm going to implement this into the way I mix. I'm going to make it a standard, honestly. I even saved a little NS-10 patch right here. The dog is scratching at the door. I told her if she goes out, she's not going to come back in. So we made a deal. Anyway, now it's time for those 2 tips I was talking about earlier in the video. This is what I've started doing that I really enjoy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another MIDI track, which I did right here. I basically just copied all the MIDI and then deleted everything but the snare. So pretty much we just have that snare. Now I'm going to go into 7 deadly snares. It's super good. And we're going to craft a snare sound. There's a lot of snare engines. I think I guess there's 7. Would make sense. And you can change them pretty intricately. There's a lot of stuff you can do. So I've got this sound right here. Doesn't sound very good on its own, but if you layer it into a snare, you get that clap, you know? If you take it out, you don't get that bite. Anyway, I made some layers called deep. I like a lot of deep snares, so I made some deep layers to layer in with that. But regardless, that is my little technique for you. You can even go one step further by throwing a little microshift on there and widening it a little bit. So now it sounds like this, as opposed to this. So, useful tip. Tip number 2 is and I said this actually in an Instagram post, but it's what I did here. I pretty much just use this channel strip and I get it as close as possible to what I want it to sound like. I try and perfect it with just one plugin, with one channel strip. I use its EQ, I use its little saturation, I use its gates and its compressor, and I try and get it as close as possible to perfect. And then I'll finish it off with some other plugins. It's better than adding an EQ, adding a compressor, adding another EQ, adding another compressor to fix that EQ, adding some reverb, adding some EQ to fix that reverb, stuff like that. I just prefer using one plugin to get close to what I want as opposed to using 6 plugins to get to exactly what I want. So yeah, that's everything. That's the whole video. That's all the tips I'm going to give you. I'm definitely going to use that NS-10 thing. I think it works really well for controlling my mid-range. It's something, actually mid-range is something I neglect kind of a little bit, which is embarrassing to say, but we're honest here. But yeah, that's the video. Hope you enjoyed. If you want some more walkthrough-ish stuff, some more in-depth stuff, I do have a Patreon you can subscribe to. Give a lot away on there, a lot of sample kits, stuff like that. But yeah, bye.